Hello, my lords, my lieges, my ladies, and all those watching. Jelord here, back at you with another video. I'm gonna change up my emblem right away. Let's see here. We're gonna put the From Software logo on my guy for funsies. Alright, the next mission is going to be this destroy fuel depot. Looks like we're destroying a depot for Chrome. I mean, we're just destroying one of Chrome's depots. And the thing about this mission is that one of the best weapons in the game
engaged.
Is in here. It's the Kara-Saw. One annoying thing is these enemies will jam your weapons. So if we stay... in the doorway... we'll be able to destroy these jammer guys.
Malfunction. Radar abnormality.
Let's see if we can do this real quick. Okay. These little dudes are the guys that are causing the radar abnormality, so... if we can destroy them all, the radar, the abnormality will go away. Oh my god, that's annoying. The thing about this mission...
AC functions restored.
There we go. Alright, I think that takes care of most of the problems. Alright, it's been a minute since I've played, but we're back with the true analogs again. Good time. Ooh, let's see here. Man, I gotta say, my backlog is getting out of control. And look at me here playing old games. But it's alright. Old games seem like they're just better than most of the new games anyway. One of the things I want to talk about this time around, just because I've been seeing a little bit of the discussion going on online again, of physical versus digital media. Like, we all know the Switch 2 is gonna still have physical cartridges. Like the Switch 1, I imagine they're gonna look either identical or very similar, since it's gonna be backwards compatible. Much like the DS and the 3DS. But I just kind of wanted to go over some of the reasons that I personally continue to buy physical games. Like, for instance, yeah, I know you can pirate. That's everybody's always, oh, just pirate the games, just steal them. It's like, look, I still want to support some of these companies that make my favorite games and shit. So I'm always going to buy physical copies when I can. And I still own my physical copy of, for instance, Armored Core. I used it for the thumbnail picture. I've been using it for the thumbnail picture.
Enemy approaching. Danger. 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 Weapon obtained.
Oh, we got some enemies here. Uh-oh. Like I was saying, I'm always going to purchase physical for as long as I can. And the reason being, there's a number of reasons. One of which is I don't trust digital. Because not only do you have to have a bank account connected to your digital account, you also have to have an email attached to your original account. And basically, if anything happens to either of those things, you could potentially face losing access to your games. Like, I had a friend who had an issue with both his email and his bank account. And that resulted in him pretty much losing like $400 or $500 worth of digital games. He lost all of his whole entire PS4 games library. Lost the whole thing. Because of some bullshit his roommate did with his
Targets
PlayStation
destroyed.
Network account. The dude pretty much
Raven,
just like
that is enough.
punched
Go
in
back
his
now.
own credit card number and all this shit. I don't remember the exact details, but it pretty much resulted in my friend not being able to access his account anymore. Lost all of his games. There was nothing he could do. And that's
Enemy approaching.
that's just
Danger.
one
Danger.
scenario
Danger.
of how you could lose all your shit. Another scenario, when they stop providing support to the console in question. What happens
Target achieved.
to all the games that you don't have room for on your console? Like right now, my PS5, for instance, I don't have a big enough drive in there to have all my games on it. And when support is going to go, when they're going to stop support, what am I going to do? I guess I could upgrade my console's memory and download every digital game I own, provided that even when I upload or download it to the maximum capacity. I'm going to take a little fiber because I want to talk about this. Even when I upload it to maximum capacity, who knows, I could get, whatever. What's one of the bigger drives? 8 terabytes? I'd get an 8 terabyte drive. And most likely I'll be able to fit most of my games. But what about later on down the line? What about if that console takes a shit on you and you're unable to repair it? What if there's an issue with the memory and it becomes corrupted? There's like an that piece of hardware is not going to last forever. And I mean, same difference. Physical media, sure, it won't last forever, but I'll tell you what, a disc or a little card is far less likely to stop working than a console. You own it physically, down the line you can purchase the console again. And I guarantee you that there's going to be ways to get consoles for years and years, probably until you're on your deathbed. You'll be able to get your hands on a functioning console from any generation. That being said, you're still going to be able to access all the games that you have physically. Now, that's not the strongest argument there is for physical media, because down the line, you could say, well, look how it is now. For instance, I'm playing on the Steam Deck. I'm playing this right now, and I can basically play everything from PS3 back. And in the future, we'll be able to emulate everything, presumably. But going forward, chances are a lot of these games are going to stay on the digital storefronts, and it's going to be like the same way with Nintendo. They're gonna come after you for emulating anything. If you make online content, if you do anything like that, they're going to come after you for it, or they'll have grounds to. That being said, that's just down the line. Sure, yeah, we'll be able to still play stuff, but it takes a long time to get to the point where, I mean, only just recently have we been able to start emulating PlayStation 3 games. And again, like I said, you know, I'm not making the strongest argument here because eventually emulation will overtake a lot of it, but when you're talking from a financial perspective as a collector, one of the things about owning the games physically is you'll be able to sell them back eventually when you're like an old man. You could potentially get your money back at any given point. You can sell your games, get your money back, and use a fraction of that money to get yourself a new console, and then you can emulate everything. So it's a win-win to keep your physical games. If anything, a lot of the physical games will just accrue in value as time goes on. One of the reasons that I choose to, like, I'd rather own something that I can hold in my hands than... Oh my god, guard the freight train, this shit. There's another unit here, there's another part. Alright, before I get too scatterbrained here, before I start this mission, I'm going to finish my thoughts. So, to recap, you can easily lose your whole game library for any number of reasons. Whether it be an issue with your bank account or your email, you could get barred out of having access to your digital games. Also, since a lot of conspiracy theories seem to be coming true this day and age, another thing that could happen is if somebody gets mad at you for something you say on the internet, they could just shut your shit off. They could cut your access to basically any of your digital identity. They could just cut your access to it. That's yet another way that you could lose your shit. I would rather own games physically so that whatever happens to my digital presence, I'll still be able to play those games one way or the other going forward, for as long as I want to be a gamer, for as long as I can't easily emulate this stuff legally without too much hassle. And let's face it, I mean, there's still a lot of games that don't even run correctly when it comes to emulation. Like, you're always going to be troubleshooting certain games that are just going to run like ass, or depending on the hardware you're using, there's always things you're going to run into. I mean, even playing Armored Core 1 here, I can go into... Like, the game looks great, but, like, I'll go in here, and even just looking at my AC, you can see some artifacting by the feet there. It's you can see through some of the polygons, a little bit of glitch there. That's not something that happened with the original PS1 version. So, you're always going to run into stuff. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to run quite as you'd like it to. And, I mean, I still run into problems emulating certain games. They're just not quite right. being able to hold on to those games and being able to sell them later to get your money back or potentially turn a profit, I think is the way to go. As far as being a consumer and collecting, that's going to be the only way you're ever going to get your money back. Especially in an economy where the prices of games just keep going up. And one of the things, if you'll notice, it's like Switch games, they don't really lose value. It's like games that came out at the beginning of the Switch's life cycle were $60, $55 to $60. They're still $55 to $60 for the most part. And the first party games and any other closer to AAA third party games, they retain their value and in some cases increase. It's like with the Switch, this console generation with the Switch, like, has been the craziest as far as a lot of these games already blowing up in their value before the console's even done. There's so many Switch games that even I have, and I think my collection's up to like 120 Switch games at this point. Like, so many of them are worth over $100. So many of them are worth more than they were on release. Especially with shit like Limited Run, all of that crazy horse shit, which I'm not even going to get into that side of it, because that's a whole other racket. I just think having the games physically, not only will you be able to play them later down the line, you also still have the option to resell them and get some of your money back. You're never going to get your money back with digital games. Like, especially if you were really excited for some big release and you were dumb enough to buy it day one when it released, and it turns out to be a huge disappointment for you, well, you're just stuck with that $70 game. Now, if it was a huge disappointment and you resell it really close to the time, let's say 2-3 weeks after it came out, because that's probably about how long it'll take you to realize if you're going to be disappointed or not, you're probably going to be able to get back like 80% of the game's value, which is going to boil down to you maybe losing $10, right? So, like, on that front, it's worth it. Now, another counterpoint, though, is like some consoles, like the PS5, for instance. Like, I love collecting for the Switch. I'll still get games physically on the PS5, but not because I'm, like, collecting them. More, it's just to protect myself from the games either being delisted down the line, or, like I said, having some kind of issue with your account that you're unable to retrieve your games anymore. Or just storage capacity issues further down the line. You'll still be able to install your games, provided it's not something like Call of Duty, where they basically just have a CD key on the fucking disc and don't tell you, which is something that companies like to do. But one of the other aspects that I wanted to get at is the whole delisting thing. Like, there are already a lot of PS4 games that have been delisted. Like, for instance, one game in particular, Transformers Devastation. In my opinion, probably hands down the best Transformers game ever made. It's probably one of the best pieces of Transformers media that's ever been made. Besides the original animated Transformers movie from 86, or I think it was 86 or 84, can't remember. But, like, and you know, I don't mean to glaze over that. That is one of my all-time favorite movies, period. Fucking love the original Transformers movie. That shit is the quintessence of awesome right there. And here's the thing, Transformers Devastation, the reason it's awesome is because the graphics were modeled after that original 80s movie. So the game looks and has the style and feel of that original Transformers movie, which is fucking sick. The game's awesome. It's a great fucking game. One of the best, in my opinion, the best Transformers game ever made. And like I said, one of two of the best pieces of Transformers media ever made. And guess what? It's delisted. You cannot play that game unless you own it physically. And you're just going to be subject to whatever the eBay prices are, which I think they're pretty close to $100 at this point. It's just going to go up. And yeah, I don't have this scripted, so I'm just kind of babbling and trying to keep my thoughts straight here. But one of the things, when physical media goes away, the next thing that's going to go is dedicated hardware. And all these game companies, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, they're going to end up becoming digital storefronts. And Xbox is already doing it with their whole fucking your toaster's an Xbox, your TV's an Xbox, your refrigerator's an Xbox. Everything's a fucking Xbox now. Let's get a better booster. But to complete my thought... Oh, not quite. We'll go with this guy. I think weighing the pros and cons for physical media... Damn it. Overweight. No shit. Weighing the pros and cons... I think probably the #1 best reason to get games physically is the fact that you can get your money back. Plain and simple. Like, you're going to be able to sell the game to get some of your money back at some point. Looks like we're just going to stay with this guy for now. This is one of the first missions where you're fighting another AC. And I'm so close to my weight limit. I think that shoulder weapon is heavy. Get rid of it. I think these arms are really heavy too, actually. $620. I wonder. Let's see if there's a certain build that works really well with the Carousel. I'm gonna see if I can achieve it real quick, or most of it. Radar range. You're gonna want to head with a relatively low energy drain. Yeah, this is the one right here. I wonder if we can get the ammo boost that's available yet. Because if it is... let's see here, where is it going to be? Where is it going to be? Not yet. They're not giving us the ammo container yet. Damn, this is gonna be a tough choice right here. Oh, let's see what's up with the Gatling. I don't particularly like the Gatling with bipedal, but we'll make it work if we need to. Yeah, it's like a last resort. We can make that work. Let me see here. These legs are actually pretty decent. These are the ones right here. Alright. We're looking okay. I might get rid of the Gatling though. Swap it for something else that'll be helpful to us. Man, I gotta tell you, in this first game, the missile launchers are kind of fucking useless. How much this way? We might be able to... Oh, shit. We'll see what's up. We'll put this guy on for now. Probably not even use it, but... I don't even think our FCS is going to let us lock on as much as maximum lock 1. So it's not even worth having that thing. It's got a 6 lock. I guess we're going back to this launcher because it has high attack power and it fires a single, but we'll see if we're overweight with it. No, we won't be overweight. Alright, I think that this is going to be the build we're going to go for now. But yeah, just to finish the topic I was talking about a moment ago with physical media, I think the biggest reason to stick with physical media is you're not going to have your digital access cut off. You don't have to be worried about any issues with your account ever. And you can sell the games back. You can get your money back. I think that that's the best argument for it, is getting your money back eventually if you want. And also, I collect. If you collect like I do, you like to have your shit on the shelf. And I mean, a lot of the times I'll buy games digitally for cheap.
Main system engaging combat
I
mode.
will... I'll buy a lot of the games digitally for cheap, and then most of the time it'll be a game like... If I'm on the fence about it to begin with, holy shit, this range is really small, man. There's a head unit. Somewhere around here. I'm probably going to have to redo... Oh, there it is.
AC head obtained.
This is Boulder. We're almost at the destination.
Enemy AC approaching. Number of ACs, 1.
We took a lot of damage so far, but I was able to take out...
This is Boulder. It's no use. We can't hold out any longer.
What's up? I think that was everybody. Okay, that turned out a lot better than I expected. I'm gonna take a hit in terms of cash for the damage I took, but I finished that mission pretty fucking fast.
This is Boulder. Refueling complete. We're underway.
But yeah, so, you know, I love just having the games physically, have something to look at on the shelf. I mean, I guess it just makes me feel good to look at it. That's about it. It feels nice to see my collection peruse. Like any collector, you talk to any collector, I mean, you can just spend your time sitting there in front of your shelf, reorganizing, looking at things. Also, when I'm trying to think of something to play.
Mission combat area. Target of operation cleared.
When I'm thinking of something I want to play, it's nice to be able to just, you know, sit on my bed, look at the game shelf, and think about. That was pretty good. Special edition, probably because none of the cars took any damage, I think. That was great. Now I'm going to be able to get a little closer to completing my Carousel build. I'm definitely going to get a different FCS, because the range on that one was abysmal. I think this had great armor, no radar function though, and also it has low energy usage. It'd be cool if it actually had like a numerical value for the range. Whew. Why doesn't it have descriptions? Well, some of these descriptions, see what I mean? The emulation is sometimes fucky. Alright, so we got our new FCS, that's cool. There we go. But yeah, for me, a lot of the times I like to sit down on my bed, in my room, or at my desk, wherever I have my collection. And I like to look, peruse through it, think about what games I want to visit. And for me, a big part of physical media, it's like, I love the old cartridge days, man. Like, having the actual carts, something special about it. And that's gonna be... This prototype test is pretty easy. That's going to be something that I guess is going to be lost on younger generations, you know. They're going to be totally
the test MT you'll fight
sold
is
on the idea
automated. There's no need to be timid.
That
Give it all you've got.
You know,
Main
digital
system,
is
engaging
easier,
combat
doesn't
mode.
take as much space up, and you know, every... There we go. Easy peasy.
We got some
It doesn't take as
excellent
much
data.
space
We'll
up,
put it
and
to good use in the future. Thank you for your help.
Target of operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
and blah blah blah. But the reality is you'll own nothing, and that's the future that they're pushing us towards. You owning nothing. You're gonna own the rights to play with their things that they can take away whenever they want. And that's kind of where I'm at with the physical versus digital. Here's Human Plus. This is a clever way that the game adjusts the difficulty based on how shitty you do. See, this is interesting because Human Plus... What? Wait a minute. Okay. Human Plus. Okay. Replaced subject abilities vastly superior to ordinary man. People who have undergone this operation are called Plus. The Plus. The ranks of which include soldiers and bodyguards for VIPs. Rumor has it that several of the top-ranking ravens are also plussed. However, the reason why Murakumo, supposedly an industrial manufacturer, originally developed this technology is still a mystery even now. We'll be in touch. How is it a mystery, man? Like, yes, of course they would develop it. This guy seems like he was probably one of the plussed test subjects. Can't remember if I saved or not. Yeah, like one instance, like recently, just today actually, I beat the game Ender Lilies, which is a completely, totally awesome Metroidvania, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is a fan of Metroidvanias. But that game, initially it'd been a while because my collection's so out of control that I thought I'd bought it digitally on sale, but actually it was part of the PlayStation Plus catalog given over to me at one point, and I started the game, played it a little bit, and then I stopped because, you know, Metroidvanias, they're like a dime a dozen these days. Like, all of them are very similar and to varying degrees of quality. But turns out this game was completely fucking awesome. Like, once I really sat down and started playing it, I just couldn't put it down. Well, I wanted to get it physically, so I got myself a copy. Turns out it was a limited run. I was able to get it for under $40 using some Prime points and stuff. And I'm really happy that I was able to get it. I'm really pumped about it. And eventually I'm probably going to play through it again. Damn it. 3 minutes to do as much damage as possible, huh? I'm trying to remember if I get ambushed or not. I'm just gonna give it a go. But now Ender Magnolia is coming out, and I was tempted to buy it digitally, but I was like, no. I looked up a physical version of it and was able to get my hands. So see, each one of these little cars will net you some money, and if I remember correctly, there is a transit system here. Those little trains get you quite a bit of cash. If I remember correctly, those guys get you some good money.
In the AC, surrender immediately. If you resist, we will attack without mercy.
Ooh. Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus. I think it's actually if you, like, do a certain amount of damage.
Enemy reinforcements identified as a ranking AC. Enemy ranking AC identified as Valkyrie.
Okay, Valkyrie. Is this you? I don't want to waste my ammo on these piss ants anymore.
Scheduled time exceeded. Combat operations halted.
Does that mean I failed? We'll see, I might have to reload this mission. See if it counts as a failure. Was that a failure? Let's see. No, it wasn't a failure. That's fine. I ended up losing like 2,000 credits, but I don't care. I think you end up getting different mail if you're able to defeat Valkyrie or whatever. Yeah, so I'm waiting for Ender Magnolia to come in the mail, like next week. What is this? This guard factory entrance. I'm pretty sure I can just like turn around and steal the weapon that's in here. Let's see real quick. The thing is too is like your mission success rate doesn't actually matter, I guess, if you're real retentive. You can wait until you beat the game and go back. Once you beat the game, you can go back and redo any of the missions. And I'm not sure, I don't think it counts towards your failure rate. I'm not 100% sure about that though. I'm just gonna do this mission real quick. Because one of them, I think the same mission is like infiltrate or defend. I'm not sure if it's the same mission. I can't remember. It's been such a long time.
Main system engaging combat mode. Enemy aircraft approaching. Number of planes, 5. Second wave approaching. Aircraft
Oh boy.
and MTs. Total 4. Target of operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
Yeah, this wasn't the same mission I was thinking about. Not bad, though. That's the nice thing about energy weapons, is like, they really don't, the ammo doesn't cost you anything in this particular game. In later Armored Core games, the energy weapons end up costing you shit, but like, in this one, it's kind of more economic to use energy weapons for missions, because you're gonna save a lot of money. Yeah, this is the one I'm thinking about. You can go in and just steal that radar. Check this out. Stop Gang, Dark Souls. Or Dark Soul. But it's kind of amazing. Way back in the day, Dark Soul. They already picked the name, boys. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it for this session. Yeah, apologies for my disjointed rambling, but I did want to talk a little bit. I was just watching another smaller content creator's video about physical media versus digital media. That's not something you should be telling your fucking... That's not something you should be telling your hired mercenaries. Chrome. Fuck you thinking. But yeah, I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Mostly because, you know, I had a friend that lost his entire game library. And I thought that that was a pretty good argument for digital not being the way to go. And as far as like me as a gamer, I think because a lot of people are saying that this console generation is going to be potentially the last console generation to have physical media, and there's a good chance that that'll be the case. Like, I think Nintendo will hold out, because I think Nintendo as a company understands gamers more than Microsoft or Sony does. And once companies get totally away from doing physical media anymore, I'm probably going to turn towards companies like Evercade and stuff like that, who are still doing cartridge-based consoles. And I think there's always going to be a market for that. So I think there's always going to be a company that's doing that. And a company like Evercade, I think they're just going to get better and better, because at first, you know, they just had some older titles, just collections that they were releasing on carts for their consoles. But now they're getting newer indie games and stuff like that. And you look at stuff like PicoVision, which is just like essentially a digital console. And what it is basically, it's a console with artificial limitations placed on it, so that people are coding for the games within certain confines that, you know, keep the game more in range of like Nintendo upwards to maybe like some PC Engine TurboGrafx style games. And I think that I love that kind of shit. So as long as companies like that exist, I'm going to turn my buying and my money towards them as I get older here and as the years go on. Like with the Switch 2, I'll keep collecting games because I know that for the most part, the whole game is going to be on the cartridge. Especially with stuff, you know, they make SD cards that are like, I don't even know what the biggest ones are. I think the biggest ones are like 4 terabytes. Some of them it might be even more than that. I haven't looked recently, which is fucking insane. So it's like, there's really no limit to the size of the game and how tiny the cartridge could be. The cartridges could stay the same size as the cards are for the Switch right now, and literally be terabytes in size. So I don't think it's going to be a while before games start to get that big, and it's like maybe with certain forms of artificial intelligence, if the game is like, I mean, who fucking knows? You know, because I would think utilizing artificial intelligence in games for like dynamic conversations and stuff like that, and unique conversations, that's never all going to just be able to just be on the cart. And that's one of the other things that you need to consider is like the evolution of video games. And you know, definitely AI is going to become a bigger and bigger part of games, because not only is it going to be able to generate content on the fly, it's also going to make the games more and more realistic, just in terms of how you're going to be able to interact with the characters, the in-game characters and environments. And we're going to get closer and closer to being able to realize, you know, a secondary digital reality within fictional worlds. And those types of games, just by their very nature, there's not going to be any way to play them offline without really truncating the core concept behind the game. If it is in fact supposed to be like advertised as dynamic gameplay like this, and dynamic progressive gameplay, those games are never really going to be able to be released in any physical sense. But as long as we're still playing traditional games, we're going to still have physical copies. And I mean, for me, honestly, my favorite thing is collecting a lot of these obscure indie games, physical versions of them, like Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia, games like that, that I think are totally fucking awesome. I love owning them physically. There's just something about having it in your hands, being able to see the artwork. It's not like it used to be where you got a colored instruction manual, things like that. I mean, they still, with some of these limited run releases, they'll give you little knickknacks here. They'll give you maybe a pin, some stickers, maybe even a little instruction manual that's colored. I love it when they do that, but that kind of stuff is rare and relegated more to like collector's editions, which I think collector editions are complete fucking scams at this point, especially from limited run. It's like they pretty much charge you almost $200 for the base game and some extra cardboard and what amounts to some fucking Burger King toys, and they try to charge you $200 for it. And for real, I've had the collector's editions that I have gotten from limited runs, they always show up damaged in some way. And it's just not, I mean, most of the collector's editions I've bought have had some issue with them because the shit is so cheap. It's just a throwaway. It's never going to be like back in the day with like Lunar and Lunar 2 and Earthbound giving you the entire fucking strategy guide for the game with the game, or them sending a t-shirt. Like, it's cool that limited run does this stuff, but everything they do, the quality is so damn cheap of the extra knickknacks, to the point where, like, I bought myself Radiant Silvergun Collector's Edition because that's like one of my all-time favorite shmups on the Sega Saturn. I bought the physical edition for the Switch, and for real, like, the imitation Saturn case that they sent with it, like, it was broken. The hinge was broken on it. I ended up swapping it for another Saturn case for a reproduction case that I bought for Guardian. What was it? Guardian Heroes. I had bought a reproduction case, and I decided to just swap that case to my copy of Radiant Silvergun just so that could be complete and not be broken. But yeah, it showed up busted. Like, the collector's editions from Limited Run are just not worth it. And like, after that happened, after I got that for myself for my birthday, it literally took a year for it to show up after I already paid these people. I had to get online and complain. And not long after I complained, they started their purple dot system. They literally implemented that shit seemingly almost in response to me telling them. I straight up told them, like, this is unacceptable. Like, what other business model is there out there where you pay for a game or anything and they don't give it to you until a year later? And you have no idea what the quality of the product is going to be. You just have really low resolution pictures to indicate what you're going to actually be receiving. And the way it was packaged, everything about it was fucking idiotic. And after that, I was like, dude, I spent $180 on this fucking shit for some broken crap that was shoved into a packaging that was packaged in the stupidest way imaginable. And the whole thing was a fucking ripoff. And after that, I was like, I'm good. I'm not buying any more collector's editions. I'll pick up a day one edition if it comes with some extra little bells and whistles. Like, for instance, one game, Trinity Trigger. This game came with the CD soundtrack and a paperback art book, and it came in a box that was basically like a hard cardboard box. It was by Exceed. And Trinity Trigger, I'll have to show it to you guys one of these days. I'll do a little episode on it. It's basically like a Secret of Mana clone. But that's the kind. Like, I'll show it off one of these times. I'll do a short video on a few of the collector's editions that I have and just talk about them a little bit. That's not a bad idea. But yeah, once I do that, you'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But I'd rather they give me something sturdy without as many Burger King toys and just some nice art, maybe a music CD. That shit'll make me happy. Not all the stupid crap that Limited Run sends you that amounts to just a bunch of cheap plastic and tack board junk. Just junk. And now when I order Limited Run, I just get the standard $35 edition of whatever game. Because the fucking thing, just as soon as you get it, it in most cases, it doubles in value by the time you get your hands on it. You could literally, you can't make a living doing this, but you could make a decent amount of money, even as a non-gamer, just ordering as many copies of each game that Limited Run puts out. Order as many as they'll let you get and turn around and immediately sell them on eBay. Or if you're smart, you get it rolling. You wait a year for each one, and in most cases you'll be able to double your money or increase your money by like 50%. That's a part of why Limited Run is a bit of a racket, and you know, they got busted a couple times with employees getting their hands on extra copies, turning around and doing exactly what I just said. So there's a lot to unpack. I think maybe when I sit down and talk about some of these collector's editions and just maybe show off some of the Limited Run games I have, maybe I'll talk a little bit about some of that stuff when it's not on an episode of Armored Core here. I know I should probably like do a better job scripting some of these topics, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually play games while I talk about gaming topics. It's kind of hard to maintain one train of thought and not end up like retreading or repeating some of the things that I'm thinking about or talking about, especially in the midst of combat when I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing in a battle, like I was in the fuel depot there. But it's like I'm gonna keep doing this though, and I'm gonna keep getting better at it because I'm so sick of watching so many content creators that don't play games and talk about games, but they never play games. And I'll get on their channels, and I mentioned this before, I'll get on their channels, I'll send them super chats, shit like that, because I want to support them. I'll ask them simple shit if they've played a certain game that's come out recently that is really pertinent to maybe what they're talking about, you know? And they'll be like, oh no, I don't have time, I haven't had time, I don't have time for any of that shit. YouTube, like I spend too much time making videos. And it's like, bro, you make videos about video games. You have to play the fucking game. That's why I'll always respect the content creators who come out, they talk about the shit, but when they're not dropping their little 10 or 12 minute episodes tackling a certain subject, they're out there doing live streams playing the fucking games. You know, like I'll always give them huge props, the people that are actually playing the games. And eventually, you know, I've only got 20 subscribers right now, which celebration. I just got the 20. That is a milestone for me. I actually was able to pick up a couple subscribers, people that were online that just noticed my comments, or some of them actually came. Like one guy actually came recently, taking a look at the gear replacement, the innard replacement for the N64 controller. I was really happy about that. I got a subscriber out of that because they found that channel useful. That made me feel great. Like I said, I'm not really doing this. I'm not trying to make money or anything. I'm not looking for a sponsorship. I just love doing this because, like, as it stands right now, I live in a big city. And since I quit drinking, I basically lost all of my friends. As it turns out, all of my friends were only drinking friends. You can't really get them to do anything else other than drink. And, you know, that's as much my fault as it is theirs. I really shouldn't expect drunks to want to do anything else other than drink. And when you make all your friends at the bar, all your friends are just going to be drunks. So it's time to make new friends. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do that. And I guess this is part of it, you know. Hopefully I can meet some people online, like-minded people who are into what I'm into, and actually spend a significant enough amount of time sober to create friendships centered around something other than alcohol, right? And who knows, maybe down the line, a couple of these episodes, I'll talk a little bit about, you know, alcoholism, quitting alcohol, quitting drugs, quitting everything, really, quitting cigarettes. Like, I pretty much quit it all, and the struggles that come with that, because there's definitely a lot of different tactics for tackling this sort of thing. But the main reason, not to get too off subject here, the main reason that I do this is because it makes me feel more connected now that I don't really hang out with anybody other than just going to work and being at home. It's nice to feel like I'm talking to somebody outside of the capacity of only speaking to them because I'm at work, you know. But in any case, I think that's going to be it for me today. I think I'm going to shut it down, call it a day. Not as long. I only did a couple of missions in Armored Core here. This was more of an episode where I just wanted to chit-chat a bit about a few different topics, particularly just physical games and stuff like that, and collector's editions and resale. But yeah, thanks to anybody who makes it to the end of this episode. I appreciate you. And I guess thanks to myself, who I'm probably going to end up watching it later. And I'm a #1 fan at this point. But hey, celebration. I'm up to 20 subscribers. I think my next milestone, I'm going to try to get to 50. And when I get to 50, who knows? Yeah, I'll try to come up with some little way to celebrate. On the way to 100. And I just eventually, it'd be awesome if I could get to like 1,000 subscribers. Like I said, I'm not doing this because it'd be cool if maybe in 10 years I could be making money off of it, and it could be something I could do while I'm retiring and stuff like that, and have more and more free time on my hands, or maybe it's something I could do eventually in supplement to work and not have to work quite as much, and maybe just spend more of my time talking like this and exploring my hobby here. So yeah. Anyway, this is gonna be Milords out. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, deals.